Hi everyone, continuation today in our series of videos discussing particular metrics. Today we're going to talk efficiency factor, or EF. We're going to talk through how it's measured, or what it's telling us, and how we can use it. Okay, so let's talk efficiency factor, or EF. And yes, you've guessed it, efficiency factor is measuring our efficiency, or really our aerobic efficiency over a particular session. So I want you to imagine that this is our output. So this is either power, pace, or speed. Okay. And this is our input metric. And in this case, it's going to be heart rate. Okay, so there's obviously a relationship between our input value, so how hard we are working to achieve this power, pace, or speed over the course of a ride, over the course of a run. This gap here between the two is what efficiency factor is measuring. So you can imagine we start running, we start training, we start cycling, and this efficiency factor, which is given a ratio between the two, and efficiency factors are normally in the range of 0.75, 0.8 up to 2, 2.5. We want this relationship to grow, so we want to increase our efficiency factor. So let's take power as our output metric. Say this is 200 watts over the course of the session, and our input value, our intensity that we've maintained to achieve this 200 watts is 150 BPM. Okay, over training, over time, we want to see this gap widen, so we want to see an increase in efficiency. So what that looks like could either be a drop in heart rate, so we're still producing this power, but our average heart rate for this ride, so this efficiency, our heart rate drops to 140 BPM. Or the other way we can increase that efficiency factor metric is obviously to increase our output. So we remain at the 140 BPM, but we are now producing over that ride 230 watts, for example. So efficiency factor measures the relationship between input and output. And an increase in efficiency is an increase in our fitness. At any given output, we want to see the input decrease, or at any given input, we want to see the output increase. So fairly simple, it's measuring the relationship between input and output. Now, how I tend to use efficiency factor day to day, week to week, is as a progression measurement. So as an athlete improves, as there's progressive overload in the plan, we expect to see this efficiency factor increase. What it is also an indicator of, and we saw this a lot through COVID, is you would see when that athlete was ill, a dramatic reduction in efficiency and then a steady increase as they recovered. So not only is it a longer term progression measurement, it can also be an indicator that that athlete's either carrying a illness, or the other time where you can see a reduction in efficiency factor is if the load is inappropriate, and we spoke in a previous video about slipping from progressive overload into overtraining. That fatigue can also bring about a reduction, or a temporary reduction, hopefully, in efficiency factor. Hope that all made sense. If there's any other metrics you'd like us to talk through or to explain in a bit more detail, or if you're struggling with any of this stuff, please feel free to drop us an email, drop us a DM, and we'll help you understand what you're looking at. Thanks for watching.